Your guy, John Gruden, you go back way back in the day with, and I'm just hearing him with it talk about analytics, and a lot of people are critical that, he wants to go back to 1998. He's going to get a fullback for Marshawn Lynch, et cetera, et cetera. And they made fun of that. I think he's just playing a little bit of a game right here. Okay.
you know Coach Gruden.
I think he's playing a little, that he knows.
Smart like a fox. He knows exactly what he's doing.
He is as on the cutting edge of what works offensively on a gridiron than anybody else. And I think that the offense is ready to roll with the current members. They might draft one or two. It just depends on how they tighten the bolts on defense for the Raiders to win that division next year and compete. How do you think it's going to work with John Gruden?
No, I think it's going to work well. And John wasn't coming back unless he went to a place that had, like every coach talks about, who's got a quarterback. And it had one that he liked, and that's Derek Carr. And we all know that last year's record with Oakland was not what anyone expected. We expected that to be a strong possibility of being a playoff team, and I think we all expect them to actually be a playoff team. So he thinks that, the things that he talked about, he may have dismissed analytics. He's being smart like a fox. He'll do that stuff behind the scenes. But getting a fullback for Marshawn Lynch, that's not out of the question. John wants to grind people. He wants to smack them around a little bit, and that will help in a big way, as we well know. The second piece of that is he's already sent Marshawn a message. Remember last year they were talking about ramping things up and, kind of taking care of him and nursing him through the season and turning him loose in the playoffs? John's like, I got to get to the playoffs before I turn anyone loose. We're not doing that this year. So, Marshawn, be ready to go, because remember Cadillac Williams?
Sure.
Remember when John had him?
Well, he ran him into the ground for the first 3 weeks, right? He set a record, didn't he, for rookie backs?
Exactly. So if I'm Marshawn, I'd pop on that tape, and then I'd go out and run extra sprints every day and get in the weight room, because John's going to hand you – he's going to be the John McKay. When they say, John, you've handed it to him 30 times the last 3 games, ball's not that heavy, and he'll just move on.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.